Hello. This video I call Part 1 ABC, and it comes before Part 2 to answer questions posted in previous YouTube video. By the way, I very much appreciate your questions. So, the first question was, what is the difference between displacement and distance? Very good question. Here you'll see it very scientifically explained. Distance traveled, which is scalar, and displacement, which is vector. This is a two-dimensional picture. And by the way, one more thing. We live in three-dimensional world, but to draw a 3D map, it takes much more effort. For simplicity, we'll be presenting today things in 2D. You can do many things in 3D. There is even a chess game in 3D, but much more complicated. The typical chess game is on 2D board. Back to our topic. In this example, boy travels long way in the park, but doesn't get as far from where he started. Now, some definitions. What is number pi? Distance, when traveling around a circle, called circumference, is 2 times pi times r, where r is the radius. Pi is the number, in fact, irrational number, which satisfies this formula. Definition of angle alpha? By the way, most people think in degrees. Let's say 360 degrees is all around the circle, 90 degrees is the right angle. But to learn and apply our subject, you need to start thinking in radians rather than in degrees. So what is the angle alpha? That's the Greek letter alpha, not A. At the bottom of this page, it is the share of 2 pi when we travel corresponding arc, not the whole circle around, just the arc. Next page, we introduce Cartesian coordinates of point A. With that, we define functions cosine and sine. R is the radius of implied circle as shown, and another picture for displacement when traveling part of a circle, shown as vector with 2 coordinates. And the length of D? Length as a value of displacement isn't a vector anymore, it is a scalar. It's given by the square root formula. Please review Pythagorean theorem if you ask why. Last question, how those functions, sine and cosine, behave in different quadrants. This picture shows graph of sine and cosine functions. Function cosine is even 1, unchanged when reflected about y-axis. Function sine is odd 1. Its value changes sign when its argument does. Let's call it minus rule. By the way, it is good to remember that positive angle stands for rotation counterclockwise, and negative angle stands for rotation clockwise. That's the convention. There are 2 more rules which would be helpful. You can see them from the same graph. So when argument is shifted 90 degrees, which stands for pi by 2, blue line turns into red line, and red line turns into blue line reflected about x-axis. Let's call it pi by 2 plus rule. And when argument is shifted 180 degrees, which stands for pi, the sign of both functions changes. Let's call it pi plus rule. Next video will be a bit more sophisticated. We'll need to obtain arithmetic rules and derivatives for sine and cosine functions. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.